Halloween special, SIMS Plumbob or diamond that hangs over your head. You will need a hairband, a barbecue stick, and the Plumbob itself, which is made out of paper. Thanks to Killer94, who made this papercraft on DeviantArt and made it available, I could make this scaled up version of it with 2 pieces, so that I could then cut it out and then fold it into the correct shapes, which will then create this, the Plumbob. Now let's get to cutting. When we fold this thing, you may want to fold it directly into the shape that it's going to be, but sometimes it's easier to fold it the other way around first and then fold it back. Keep this in mind when you're making these things. Once you've folded all of the flaps, this piece is done. Now, by the power of editing, I have the next part. And here we have a previously completed Plumbob, but as we can see, there's some gaps between the sides. And this is because we have both of the bottom halves. And that's a problem. So we're going to cut it out of the second half part that we have. And now that that is done, we only need to glue them together. Since we need to glue these together, here is some glue. This is just some general wood glue. The main advantage of this stuff is that you can make really thin seals. And we'll just put a little bit into a layer on the flaps and then press them together. That should be enough. It takes a couple of minutes for it to cure, which you can't see in this video because it has been edited. We'll just do this to both of the sides. The only difference being that we're going to have to glue the bottom part into the top half on one of them, and that is a bit tricky, so take it slowly and you'll get a better result than trying to do it really fast. I actually had to do this twice because I broke one of these things. Once that's done curing, we could put the pieces together and take the stick into the corner and the headband and put them all together and we'd have a costume. But since we're going to be fancy, I'm going to put some LEDs in it and make it light up. Now we're going to need a power supply for the LEDs, so I have this battery case that I have already soldered a toggle button and a resistor into it. So this is from a previous project that uses the exact same LEDs, but it's all ready. And then we'll need to cut a hole into the top of the Plumbob so we can make the wires and the popsicle stick go through. And once we've made sure that those fit, we can pull the cord through and then test that we can make the stick go through also. Now we'll just join the LEDs with some solder into the head of the wire. Once that's done, we need to glue the LEDs into the top half with the stick so that everything holds up. This will take a while to do because the hot glue takes a little bit to dry, and then you're going to have to hold the top of the stick to the hot glue to make it stick there while the hot glue dries. And you're going to need a bit of the hot glue to make it actually stick together. I stuck the two halves of the Plumbob together with hot glue because it dries a lot faster than the normal wood glue. And then we need to hot glue the Plumbob to the stick. Once that's dried, we need to put the wire to the stick so that it doesn't hang around with a couple of drops of hot glue. Now once that's done, we need to stick the stick into the headband with some hot glue. This also takes a while because we need to wait for the hot glue to set and then put some more. Once that's done, we're going to put the wire into the side of the headband with a couple of drops of hot glue. And be careful with the hot glue, it's actually really hot and it hurts. And once that's done, we need to connect the wire into the power supply that we have. And since I'm using heat shrink, I need to remember to put the heat shrink first and not after. And here we can see that the heat shrink is not fitting to the wire, so I crimped it a little bit with my pliers and I could get it to fit. Now it just needs the heat treatment and it's done. On to the next one, we do the same exact thing. We connect them. And by the way, before you apply the heat shrink, you can't see it in this part of the film, but I actually did test that they are the correct wires. Please do test them because otherwise you need to re-solder. Here we can see the Plumbob in action. This is in a kind of dark room and you can see it light up pretty nicely. You can't even see the stick or you can't see me. And here is some stuff that I've done previously. Thank you for watching.